My choice of ults in main next season. What's up guys, Petko here. This has been a very common question for the past couple of weeks. Hey Petko, have you chosen? What are you gonna main? What am I gonna be ulting? Yes, I've chosen. I've already spoke publicly about it, at least to some classes, but now I'm gonna finalize, make this video and give you an explanation why exactly have I chosen those picks to ult or main. First, let's begin with the ults. Number one, my favorite ult this season has been Survival Hunter. I know you guys are gonna be coping right now, but Survival Hunter has been amazingly fun to play. Honestly, short offensive cooldowns, very mobile, likely the strongest Survival Hunter we've seen since the inception of the Warcraft expansion, which makes me excited to play because again, back in Shadowlands, back in Tazavish and Streets, Survival was so OP. That kind of gives me a resemblance of how the good old times used to be. Hence why, because of that, I am going to be playing Survival as my main ult this season. Although it is not the strongest counter spec, neither is the strongest DPS out there, but the gameplay wise I quite enjoy. And honestly, as you guys already know, Hunter has always have sweet spot for me in playing as an ult, I guess. So yeah, Survival Hunter definitely stole my heart and I'll be playing it unless they change something last minute. Again, there's 6 days into the season. Things could possibly change, but if they remain this way, I would love to give it a try, and especially Santero Survival to be my go-to ult for this season. Alright, so moving forward, after Survival, my next ult is gonna be Affliction Warlock. I know it's kind of a strange thing to say, but after the most recent buffs to Affliction Warlock, their damage looks to be incredible. So this is one of the powerful ults I've chosen to play this time around, simply because I'll be able to give you insane funnel on the most important mobs or bosses, which I believe has a high value when you play Mythic Plus. On top of this, Affliction hasn't really been good for the past couple of years, so this is actually the very first time for the past, let's say, I don't know, 3 or 4 seasons where Affliction actually looks quite decent in Mythic Plus, both from Mythic Plus, both from like single target perspective and AoE as well. There are several conditions where I kind of get annoyed by the gameplay of Affliction. For example, the Violtain issue, not having it available for each of the packs just because it doesn't share, it doesn't give like double charge of Violtain or anything like this, but whatever. Even if you disregard this, I think Affliction is quite strong, especially Hell Color, where you rely on your Wither to do majority of your damage, plus Black and Soul. So I kind of feel like the dot specs are making a small comeback this season, especially given how strong Affli and Shadow Priest are, and I'm looking forward to give it a try. At last, yes, I'm well aware Warlock does not have party buffs except you high health stones, so I might find it difficult to find perks where they will accept me playing, but at the end of the day, I value fun a lot when I play my ults, and Affliction so far has been a tremendous joy when tested in Mythic Plus, especially once again after the most recent single target and priority target buffs, which I'm very grateful for them happening. Now, would I expect another change coming for them? I feel like at this point they probably won't see another change just because they've already got several of them in a row, so I'll be surprised if they do it, but even if they don't, I'm gonna be happy playing it. Alright, and the last ult I've chosen to play this time around is gonna be, actually some of you have already guessed it, Pharaoh Druid. Yep, you guys heard it right. Pharaoh Druid is gonna be my last choice of ult, even though I am not a melee enjoyer, I'm more of a range enjoyer. After the most recent buffs on Pharaoh Druid, and in general, even before the buffs, Pharaoh felt very strong in AoE damage, especially when you pair this in a physical comp. And I've already told you guys, if you haven't paid attention to PTR, or if you haven't seen any PTR footage, physical comp is looking to be incredibly strong following Season 3, which means Brewmasters, Restoration Shamans, etc. will once again reappear on the rankings. Keep in mind, Pharaoh Druid has a quite strong burst, both single target and AoE, very good prior damage as well. The single target could be a lackluster, you could be starved with energy at some point, but I feel like the massive AoE damage is what makes it really fun, like waving up your AoE spender, waving up some free bites in AoE, etc. The playstyle itself, it looks to be pretty challenging, and at the end of the day, I wanted to have a spec that is not only easy and easy and fun to play, just like for Survival and Affliction, but I wanted to be challenged, more difficult spec, and I consider Pharaoh to be more difficult than Affliction and more difficult than Survivor, hence why I wanted something that would challenge me when I play Mythic Plus, especially as a melee, just because I wanted to practice a bit more my melee DPS, which, it's not the greatest. That's why Pharaoh will be my go-to choice this time around. And again, utility-wise, Mark of the Wild is incredibly strong, and in my opinion, will be likely mandatory in those physical comps, given the fact how strong Pharaoh is, unless, obviously, Restoration Druid takes my spot. In that case, I'll be very sad and likely see no invites on my Pharaoh Druid, which I hope not to see, I hope they get invited. But, yeah, I guess gotta wait and see. Alright, and for the finale, you guys already know the answer. What's gonna be my main? My main has not changed for the past 6 years. Yes, once again this season, Elemental Shaman will be my go-to main. Now, a lot of you have asked me whether or not I want to main Ellie, even if it sucks. Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you Ellie next season definitely does not suck. Their AoE damage is fantastic, one of the best in my opinion so far. Private damage looking very strong, single target pulse buffs looking very strong, utility wise one of the best in the game so far, and especially fitting for season 3 dungeons like double stops, like stuns, like poison removal, which will be, in my opinion, essential in dungeons like Arakara. Root Grab Totem will make a lot of an appearance here. It's a lot of fleeing mobs that will ninja pool pack, so the grab is gonna definitely help you. Tremor Totem can also help you here, just because in Arakara, the invisible, one of the mini bosses has a fear cast, which if you can go through, you're pretty much gonna wipe. So Tremor can be useful. A Shard of Hawkers, for example, the first boss of Host Atonement, Tremor Totem is gonna be very useful against pug groups, I guess. So yeah, the overall utility, damage, and playstyle is the only reasons why I'm gonna be maining Ellie, on top of having one of the best visually appealing agendas for a spec, I guess it's range. So that's also not a W that you're gonna collect if you decide to play Elemental Shaman. But at the end of the day, you get to decide your mains. Anyway, that's everything so far, guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic season 3. Thank you for watching all of the PTR action and all of the PTR testing. Once again, I will be, if in case something happens, obviously there's 6 days until the patch comes out. If something happens, let's say they nerf the All-Star I'm playing and they become pretty bad, I might change my opinion. But if I gotta be honest, I'm pretty set on those guys for the past couple weeks. I just didn't want to say it in front of the stream. So yeah, I don't think things will change that much for me, but you never know. Chat with Blizzard, you never know. Thank you for watching the video once again. I wish you a great afternoon, and I'll see you on stream later on. Peace out, and bye for now.